You can usually keep one vehicle, your house, and various insurance policies that you have. Bankruptcy does not mean that you are broke. Instead, it means that your debts outweigh your assets. In Chapter 7 bankruptcy, you can pay off your creditors by selling your non-exempt assets, which include your second residence, a second vehicle that you own, or your personal belongings like jewelry, collections, and other valuable items. So in the state of Florida, you can't be forced to liquidate personal assets in case of business insolvency. Well, I have found something pretty ironic about this situation. Billionaire Ken Griffin is building himself the world's most expensive home. The hedge fund manager's 50,000 square foot Palm Beach mansion will be worth a whopping $1 billion when complete. Now, why he is doing this, you might ask? I dug a little bit into it, but before we get into this video covering Ken Griffin, how Citadel may be going insolvent, and then touching on some AMC, the charts, the data, the S&P 500, and some additional stuff to close out the video, all I ask you guys to do in return is please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, have post notifications on, and engage the video in any way possible. Without further ado, let's get into the video. So Ken Griffin is building himself the world's most expensive home, but specifically in Florida, where you can get away from insolvency by filing Chapter 7 bankruptcy, keeping your primary residence, and not being forced to liquidate certain personal assets. What do you guys think about this in the comments down below? Also touching on Citadel, Citadel Securities has responded in scratching fashion to an effort by Do Kwon's lawyer to serve a subpoena on them. Kwon/Terraform Labs are hunting for evidence of a Citadel role in the UST DPEG of May 2022 based on tweets from Gigantic Rebirth, among other leads. Now, we saw that Do Kwon was blaming Ken Griffin, blaming Citadel for the collapse, but they are digging deeper, and this is absolutely not over, and it seems as if Ken Griffin may be a little bit worried about this case. Moving on, we talked about Ursa Fund Management. Holders of massive AMC put position Ursa Fund Management and its directors own large stakes in a company called Retail Value Inc. While Executive VP for Retail Value Inc. is a former Goldman Sachs man, and we have seen time and time again Goldman Sachs spoofing the price on the order book for AMC. Also, Ursa Fund Management was an objector in the conversion reverse split. So is that causing a problem for Goldman Sachs? Is Goldman Sachs short AMC? Well, we may just find out when the transparency rules get pushed through by the SEC and get finalized. Moving on, AMC had another order imbalance of 222,723 shares. Now, I could dig deep into this and explain why the price should theoretically move, but is not moving, but that is for another video. The point is, AMC has a lot of buying pressure, and of course the float is sold time and time again as retail purchases more and more fake shares. Once we sell, those become real shares, and then they become a problem, or until regulation is put in, or a margin call, or a market collapse. Now, touching on some numbers real quick before we get into the charts: 6.62% short interest, utilization at 38%, shares on loan above 15 million, right under that $16 million level, cost bar average at 1.44%, and the max is rising again at 14.39%. AMC is currently trading at $9.38, up 1% on the day. You might be asking, lottery sucks, where is this thing going? It's been trading sideways almost the entire week. 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth hammer candle as we speak today, and we're only sitting up 1%. Well, the volume is still fading off. I'm sorry to say, the volume has not picked up. We broke slightly out of the wedge, came down, and we're basing off of the wedge. The volume is still decreasing. There's not much to say here. I'm just waiting for the volume to pick up and that spring to happen. And I think AMC is just going to trade like this as long as it holds up while the market is down until it springs even higher. And once we see that, you're going to see the market spring higher, which is something that I expect as well. And we're going to talk about the market more towards the end of the video, but just watch for a volume pickup. Watch 1035, 1075, and then 1325 for the levels on AMC. If we break below 9, that is another story, and then you're going to watch support at $8.60. If that is the case, that will lead us into a bearish case scenario coming down to build support off this trend line in the 7s again, and then potentially that city price target. AMC has 3.3 million shares available to borrow according to Stonko Tracker, 12,000 calls compared to 9,000 puts expiring in the money, with 86,000 out of the money compared to 33,000. So AMC is very bullish on the option options chain as well as the weeks to come. So the gamma ramp is slowly building, slowly accumulating. But again, tomorrow is Friday, and we know what market makers like to do on Friday. Another thing to note, short exempts only 157,000, which is higher than any other stock on the market, but it is low for AMC. Of course, when you see low volume, you're going to see lower short exempts because they don't have to match as many orders to keep the price stagnant. GameStop trading at $13.48, down 1.68% on the day. Here you go. Lottery stocks. Are you sure about this? GameStop puts. Do you think it's coming lower? It looks strong. No, I told you, I'm confident it's coming back down, and you're seeing it right now. If we build support off of $13.42, then, you know, GameStop may look like it has some room to go, but I still would disagree. I think this is just a plain old controlled sell-off. We're going to break below this wedge at $13 either Friday or next week. I think we see a red week next week for GameStop coming down to $10.10. And then beyond that, if it gets worse, worst case scenario, $3.75, filling that gap and then getting that pop. You can see it got rejected off of this supply zone, coming back down, testing support. I think it's going to hold for a second, break below, and test this wedge again right around 13. GameStop, 1.5 million shares available to borrow at a most recent fee of 1.6%. Not only 900 calls compared to 5,000 puts expiring in the money. Options chain is bearish, even though more people are betting bullish. So market makers are going to be collecting on this premium for anybody betting bullish on GameStop over the next few weeks. Very dangerous game to play. I told you that. Plus, you can see with very little volume, they are still stacking short exempts on GameStop. They're bringing this thing lower. They don't want it stagnant like AMC. They want it lower. Now, just to put a little sprinkle on top, hedge funds are absolutely dying. It's a dying business model in general. Hedge fund managers are losing confidence in their economic prospects for the remainder of 2023. The average measure of confidence dropped by 2.1 points quarter over quarter. So hedge funds are in distress. They are losing money. We aren't losing money when we hold. The loss is unrealized. I know what I entered this play for, and I still do have faith. Now, before we move on to the S&P 500 and some additional stuff with crypto to close out the video and banks, you guys want up to 16 free stocks, each valued up to $2 grand per stock, and a free SoFi stock. Use my link, sign up for Moomoo, and make a deposit to start earning benefits from there. Plus, you get access to free level 2 order book data, trading options, going long, going short, viewing other exchanges, and more. That link is in the top of the description and pinned in the top of comments, alongside the Discord link. If you guys aren't in the Discord, press my link, watch the trailer. It's 30 seconds long. Access to one-on-ones with me. I'm in there on the daily, so you can get my insight. You can request videos. We also have options trading alerts in there, and I'm adding something. Hopefully it'll be done this weekend, where you can copy my trades with a click of a button. No creator is doing this, so get in the Discord. Cheapest Discord out there as of right now. It's well worth it. Best vibes in there, whether you're a beginner or advanced trader. Just join. That link is in the top of the description and pinned in the top of comments as well. Just in, the SEC seeks $770 million in penalties from Ripple, but Ripple always wins against the SEC, so we'll see how that goes. Plus, JP Morgan Chase had unrealized losses of $40 billion in its HTM portfolio in the third quarter. And finally, what affected the market today? US GDP rises by 4.9% in Q3, above expectations of 4.3%. This is the biggest jump since Q4 2022 and the 5th consecutive quarterly increase in GDP. Despite higher interest rates and geopolitical tensions, GDP continues to rise. Is the Fed on track for a soft landing? You guys let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. As of right now, it may not look like a soft landing, but I do think the SPY is about to turn around, so let's talk levels. 414.27 down 0.78% on the day. I think the SPY may touch 413 today. That's kind of what I want to happen. Worst case scenario, tomorrow, Friday, we touch 409. At that 409 level, I think that is bottom. We turn around. I will be entering my calls. If we bleed on Friday and the volume starts to decrease and we don't hit that target, I still may enter the calls. If you want to know my trades as soon as I take them, join the Discord because I will drop them as soon as I enter. Overall, I think 413 for the level for SPY and then 409 worst case scenario before getting that pop and that turnaround. And you know what I expect for November. That strong rally. I still stand to it. I think the SPY is going to turn bullish very, very soon. I am bullish on the overall market. Also, Bitcoin retested that $35,000 level and got a slight rejection. It is still fighting for that breakout. If we break out, watch 40,000, 46,000, 54,000, so on and so forth. Overall, guys, that is what I got for you for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed watching or found value out of the video. Again, if you're subscribed to the channel, have post notifications on, and if you're not, subscribe to the channel. Check the links down below. I love you all. Lottery Stocks out.